Usually when we meet someone, we say, hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing today? Howdy.
I live in Hayes, Kansas, which is in the northwest part of Kansas. One common way we greet each other after we find out what our names are is to ask, who do you belong to? And that means, what family are you from? Who are your parents? Who are your grandparents?
When you're meeting somebody in New Orleans for the first time, you might say, hey, how's your mama and them?
Or if we don't know that they're mom and them, we'll ask, who's your mama?
When I was younger, what I remember is that when you first met someone, like at school or something like that, what I would say to them is, what are you? Like, are you Italian or Irish? It's kind of like a tribal thing.
What are you? I guess you always wanted to have a little insight into what a person's personality is as you go forward and meet them.
In Hawaii, we would ask, where did you go to school? Or where did you graduate from?
That's sort of a common question. Oh, well, what high school did you go to? Each school kind of has its own stick, some good, some bad.
Where did you go to high school? It's bringing back a memory. It's going back to a time when perhaps for some it was a happier time.
If you go to a party, it's where do you work and what is your job?
What do you do? Which is almost, are you anybody? Is there something you can do for me?
In New York City, we always started conversations with strangers with, so what neighborhood do you live in?
Where do you live? It's usually a way of asking or getting at your socioeconomic standing or really how wealthy you are.
In my experience, it's been common to ask somebody where they're from because so few people in Alaska are actually from here.
Well, in Indian country, when somebody asks you the question, where are you from, what they're really asking you is, what's your tribal affiliation? What reservation did you grow up on? Are you an Indian or are you a white guy?
In Chicago, really a good way to find out about someone, you ask them what parish you're from. You know what parishes were Polish, what parishes were Irish, what parishes were African American. You really get to know what kind of people they are.
In Greenville, the first question is usually, where do you go to church?
If you ask someone where they go to church, you're really trying to find out what they think, who they are, what they believe, what their political views are.
You cut right through the crap and you find out where someone's from and what they're all about.
This makes it easier to deal with people, and it helps us understand where they came from and where they're going.
I've never really liked any of those kind of questions.
When I meet somebody for the first time, my opening question is often, what's your story? Which allows them to say whatever it is they feel that they want to share about themselves.
Some people don't like talking about what they do, or some people don't like talking about where they're from, or some people, they have different idiosyncrasies. So I guess saying, so what's your story, kind of lets somebody just answer the question that they want to answer as opposed to answering the question that you explicitly ask.
So what's your story? That would be like a really good question to be able to ask somebody, because that way you just really want to find out about them. Like that would be a really, I'd like to try that sometime.